thing you're going to very commonly see that authors do are what a boxed set. And a box set is like this. These are all digital. So there is no physical books in a physical box. It's just kind of an esoteric box set. It's all the digital versions of the books all put into one EPUB, one file, one combined book that they're selling you. And you'll see these things are, they can be like 3 books like this one at the bottom, or it could be a whole series. Like this one is 6 books. I've seen even 10 or more books all combined into a series. So this is a very popular thing that you will see a lot of on Amazon, especially in things like fantasy and romance and genres like that. It's very, very common. And with some box set, and like these are all showing like 0 here, but they're typically $9.99 for a box set. And why do this, right? So they're priced higher than an individual book, but a lot lower than if you bought all those books separately. So it kind of think like, well, how's it, how are they making money doing this? It seems like you're losing money, especially on, selling all 6 books at $9.99. Well, for the reader, of course, this makes tremendous sense because it's a great value statement, right? So if I'm gonna look at this Wolfborn saga, I'm going to pick on them a little bit here, but I'm just making a point. Never read these books. I can't comment on them. They could be great books, but we're just going to use this as an example here. So for a reader, if this series seems interesting to you, you could buy, probably get the first book for 99 cents, but then the rest of them are all going to be like $3, $4 each. So to get all 6 books for $9.99, that's a great savings, right? You're saving good money there. So it's a win for the reader, and people like that value. But it seems like it might be a loss for the author because you're selling them so much cheaper than if people just bought them individually. But the thing is, you don't know how many people are going to buy, or maybe you do. Maybe you do know your numbers really well. And if you have a very high retention, so for example, if 80% of people who read the first book read the second, and 70% read the third, and 60% read the fourth, and so on, you probably don't want to do a box set because you will be losing out. But if your retention isn't that good, then putting them in a box set can really be a blessing. Because, only 50% will get the second book and only 30% will get the third book and so on. So when you sell them all combined up front, you've got that money already. And it's still a win for the reader because having bought it as a box set, even if the first book doesn't rock their world, they already own the rest of them. They're much more likely to just continue reading and read through the whole series. So it's a win for the author in this case because he gets money that he might not have otherwise gotten, and it's a win for the reader. I mentioned these are typically priced at $9.99, and the reason is you really can't go higher than $9.99 on Amazon. And the reason for that, again, is because Amazon will give you 70% of the selling price if and only if you price your book between $2.99 and $9.99. 1 penny. As soon as you hit $10 or anything above $10, Amazon only gives you 30% of the sale, which means even if you put your box set for $19.99 at a 30% take, you're only getting $6 versus $9.99, and you get a 70% take, so you're earning $70. So that's right, you earn $1 more selling it for $9.99 than you would selling it for $19.99. So it's really kind of, we're handcuffed with that. $9.99 is the highest price you can practically charge for your box set. So you'll have to determine if that works for you. but don't feel like you have to do this. Another consideration for a box set is KDP Select. So again, KDP Select is if you make your books exclusive to Amazon, Amazon is going to put it in their KDP Select, and that means Amazon Prime members, people who paid for a yearly Prime membership, get to read the books for free. They can read any of these KDP Select books for free. So it's absolutely, your series now becomes free for them to read, and Amazon reimburses you on a per page reimbursement for every page that person reads. Again, in the case of this Wolfborn saga, let's say it's not the strongest writing in the world. You know you can get people to read the first book, and let's say your first book is 200 pages. KDP Select, those 200 pages are going to earn you $1, maybe even less, but you get about a half a cent per page. Amazon determines that every single month based on their own metrics, nothing to do with what you're asking for the price, irrelevant what you're asking for the price. It's all based on their profit from Prime members. So they're just going to determine a price that works for them, and that's what you're getting on KDP Select, but typically figure a half cent per page. So for a 200-page book, you're making $1. So yeah, you earn less than if you sold that book. But the thinking is, because it's free for Prime members, you get a lot more people to try it out than otherwise would have, and you get money you wouldn't have otherwise gotten. So, and with a box set like this, as I said, if your first book doesn't rock their world, but it's good, they're much more likely to continue reading. So now not only are you getting that KDP Select money from the first book, you're getting it from the whole series of books here. So if each of these books is like 200 pages, and there's 6 of them, that's 1,200. So now he's earning $6 instead of $1 from the same sale. So, again, that definitely works for the author in this case and the reader as well, because they get it. Now, you might ask, does doing a box set cut into your profit margin, or will it cannibalize your sales from, say, just single book sales? Is everyone just going to buy that instead? And the answer is no. It does a little bit, but generally no. There's like a whole different set of people on Amazon who are vivacious readers. They read a lot, and they specifically look for box sets because it's great value for them, and it gives them a lot to read. And buying individual indie books, it might be a bit of a turnoff for them because it's more expensive to buy them individually. But if they buy the whole set, they get it at a much reduced price. And because they tend to read a lot, they're still going to just burn through that within a few days to a week. And those people are actually just going on to Amazon, and they're looking for a box set. They're looking for, complete series. They're looking for omnibus editions. And so you'll see that those are in their titles here because they know people are searching for that. That's their SEO. So they're going to be sure to include that. And this one's got a twice box set here, box set here. These guys have complete box set, complete series, box set here, right? So they're using that specifically in their titles because they know that is what this group of people are searching for. And so they're going to find them here. So it tends to be an add-on sale as opposed to cannibalizing your existing sale. Box sets can also be used for cross-promotion. I don't have an example of this here, but you will find box sets where, I gave an example earlier where it's like a certain genre. So let's say historical romance. Each of the books in the box set is written by a different author. So it's like 6 books by 6 different authors, but all of them are historical romance. So the idea here is that it's great for the reader because the reader gets a chance to try a bunch of different series and different authors in a genre that they love. And, hopefully they'll find an author that they really love or a series that they really love, and then they'll continue reading the rest of that series. And this is a win for the authors because they each contribute one book to this, historical romance box series, box set, and then they all promote it to all their fans. And so they get a lot of cross-pollination going on, and all of them pick up some new readers, and they're not worried about, am I going to lose this reader to this guy over here? Because generally those people are going to buy both of your books, right? They like reading a lot of books. They're going to read as much as they can. So you're not generally losing anybody, but you're gaining from the cross-pollination. That's the idea when you see those box sets where it's like from all different authors, is they're combining their lists, basically. They're cross-pollinating, and all of them are benefiting from doing that together. Now, how the revenue split would work, if at all, don't know. But that's another use for box sets as well. Now, can you do a print box set? No, not currently, not on print on demand. And even if you could, it wouldn't be affordable to do so. But you could do something similar. Instead of doing a box set literally like this, where it's like 4 books in a box, but you could do an omnibus collected edition, where it's one book where you got all your 4 books contained in this one collected edition book. And maybe you'll make that a bigger format, and you're going to run, of course, now your page count's going to be higher. But because you are going to promote this as a premier collected edition, and you can even include a little bit of original content that appears nowhere else in this omnibus to make it even more special, just another short story or something to make it a little bit more special. And then you charge a premium price for this. So now people will pay $30 or more because they see the value, because it's, otherwise they'd have to buy these 4 books individually at like $10 to $15. So to get all of them together for $30 makes sense, right? But it's same thing, right? If you did Shogun as like 5 books, and then you did a collected omnibus edition, right? It's the same thing as if a traditional publisher did it, except you have to sell it for more because you don't have a volume discount. But now people will buy it because you sold them as a series initially, and now it's a collection of that series. So the value is perceived to be greater. So they'll pay that higher price. So you can do it like that, but don't call it, if you do like an omnibus edition there, do not call that a box set, because that just confuses everyone. Because when you say box set, they expect there's going to be multiple books in a box. And when they just see one book, it's like, well, where's the other books, right?